tea, hot tea. Let's spill the hot tea. I'm not funny. People have genuinely said to me before, Leisha, we're not laughing with you, we're laughing at you, but in a good way. And I don't know how to take that, but yeah. As long as we're laughing. Hello. I am back. I just keep switching setups, it looks bad, but I'm back in my family home for Easter break. Today is the day that I would normally try and release a video. I'm trying to be more consistent with content, but as a student and an art student who is making videos already for my degree, it can be hard to come up with consistent stuff each week, which is fine because this is a hobby and it doesn't really matter, does it? I feel really happy with what we've done so far, the little community that is growing. So I've just finished this term, and I think for any students out there, really just give yourself a pat on the back for surviving the last year. I'm just hoping that next term is going to be slightly more normal. I've been thinking a lot about how art and self-worth can become so interlinked, and even if you don't make art, I think this goes for productivity culture in general. The idea that what you do is who you are. And I've just started listening to the audiobook version of Art and Fear. That has been really interesting because it does talk about this idea that we think that those people who make art or call themselves artists, they have to have innate talent or skill, and that they're these masters or geniuses that can create these beautiful works. But people like Caravaggio or Frida Kahlo or Mozart, they come around once in a generation, and most people that make art are ordinary people. People that make it because of what it does for them, the benefits it can have on their well-being, and hopefully the benefits that it can have for other people when they see it. And I think I sometimes worry that it's quite a selfish thing to make, that I make my work around myself or around my personal experiences, and that for me I kind of see art as a therapeutic tool. But I think perhaps even if we just talk about that more and show people that they don't have to be good artists, that we can just all create, then perhaps that is in a way a useful thing. A really good kind of short film documentary on this would be by my friend Bardell. She did a documentary called Art as Catharsis. I think it's true, it can be really cathartic, and sometimes when you make art for a living or you study art, you can forget the starting point of why you were drawn to it in the first place. Just enjoying yourself and expressing yourself freely. I think that's one of the things that I'm so fascinated with in my work is memory and nostalgia, but I think it's also the disparity between our experiences as a kid and how that changes as we grow up. But yeah, I guess I'm interested in that abandon of self, or we sometimes, I think back and I think I was my truest self before I was even aware that that was something that I had to think of what is me or how to be me. I think we're most ourselves when we're not even thinking about that. we're just being, we're just living. When that comes to like art making, we're our most free when we're just creating. We're in the moment, we're focusing on the paint and or the photo or the sound of the music. Because I will do a lot of research into a work, but really when I sit down to make it, I've come to understand over time that if I analyse it too much during the process, that the work will become static and it won't give me that feeling that I'm looking for, you know? It's important to do the research behind my work because it gives me a sense of direction, a sense of purpose. But when I actually come to paint, I have to set that aside and hope that it will come through sort of in osmosis in a way. I came across this really interesting theory that when we see someone dance or move, we have a physical reaction. There's a reason why we like to go and watch plays of people acting out real life or watch people dance, because we sort of like seeing a mirror of ourselves, a mirror of experience, and we have a physical kind of want to embody that in a sense. And that is called mirror neurons. These neurons that go off that when we see an action being played out in front of us. And that can even be an action within painting, like if we see movement within a painting, and it can even be the minute details or brush work, the imprints of what the artist's movements have been, what the painter did, the process. It's the echoes of the action that gives us a physical or psychological reaction to the work. And maybe people think that's mumbo jumbo, but when I learnt about that, it like clicked in my head that what is it that makes paintings different to just a plain image? It's the artist's hands, the impression, the creation of it, the process. That mimics the kind of psychological process I was talking about of having to let go. Pure expression, pure release, no ego, and just being there in the work. But maybe I think about these things too much. And basically I'm trying to distill all of these thoughts into an essay question for a research plan for my dissertation, and if I can, I will let you know, and maybe I will do a better video explaining these thoughts. I guess my point is that, yes, I would love to be producing videos and be consistent, and who knows, maybe I will be. And I would love to be consistent in the type of art I make. But productivity culture forces the value of something to be placed on the end result rather than the journey or the process or the learning that we get from creating and from making. That is what I'm going to try and do, you know, not just in my art but in life as we come out of this strange world we've been living in for the last year and a half. I'm going to try and enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. I know it sounds like hippie shit, but I think to an extent it's true, right? There's a reason why so many people, you know, write inspirational quotes about this sort of thing. I guess I just wonder whether any of you out there have something that you feel like you have lost touch with the true reason why you started doing it, or lost touch with the enjoyment that you first got out of doing it. Or if there's something that perhaps was in your everyday life before COVID and you took it for granted, and now that we're coming out, you know that you're gonna hold on to that and really appreciate it for what it is, even if it's mundane. Yeah, I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you in my next video, whenever that is. But if you want to see it, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, join the family, and keep the conversation going. Alright, toodles!